Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. So today I wanted to talk to you, Divine Feminine. What do you do when your faith in the masculine is no longer? In other words, you can look across the board and let's put it as it is. Let's make it as realistic as possible. No ideal father, no ideal partner, no ideal man in your experience. Meaning, and by ideal, we're not talking about, I guess you could say, a perfectionistic view. There is none of that. There is no perfect ideal man. However, there is the perfect ideal man for you, the right one for you. The problem is that if you believe men are supposed to be something, you already have an expectation of what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to act, who they're supposed to be to you. And it's disappointing when you think that it's supposed to be the norm, but it's actually the exception to the rule. In other words, having values and morals are not the norm, it's the exception. Being faithful, not the norm, the exception. So, from that standpoint, you can say, so now what? Where do I stand with this? Well, you find peace with what is, you find peace with who you are, and then determine where you are in your life. Um, some some engaging isn't necessarily necessary in your life. So people think, oh, you should date to get to know people, but you may not want to date to get to know people because you're not that interested in getting to know people. You just want to be with your person, the person that's right for you. And you think that means I don't want to, but meeting people is challenging. It's challenging because when you don't have faith in man, you subject yourself to being open to seeing what they present. And that can be really disappointing because when you see what they present, you quickly realize a lot of people don't stand on anything. They don't. They have no authority over themselves. They have no goals or visions for who they want to become. And even when they do, when they claim that they do, a lot of people will talk a really good talk, and that talk can only go so far. You're waiting to see the result. Okay, you can do this. What? Why aren't you? If you can, why are you not? And it's a lot of hustle. No. I'm moving this around. I'm moving that around. And I got this over here, and I got that over there. Yeah, you're full of shit. We don't care to hear all of that. It's cute. It's cute that you have goals and ambitions, but all of these plates in the air, you just look like a circus act. And it's like, it's fine if that's where you are. But as a woman, you want to experience a partnership where you can be who you are, where you can live as you do, knowing that there's someone with you that's actually living their purpose. And you see them living in their purpose. They're like, yeah, I do this because I'm going to do this forever. I love doing this, or this is who I am. No, maybe not forever, but part of their character. It's part of their character. It's not just a little hobby. It's not something that you're dependent on either. It could just be, these are the ways that they are. These are the things that they do. This is their routine, and this is how they want to be. And actually are that way. Is that way as they are keeping you where you are or growing you? Or is it taking you away from who you are and lowering you? And by lowering you, We're referring to in status, in economic stability, in your level of contentment, of joy, of peace. If you engage with someone and what they're bringing you is a bunch of problems and chaos and stress and having no clue of what they're doing because they're, oh, I don't know what to do with my life, that person is not a partner. That is someone, that is a job. That's just a job for you to work on. And if you're not looking for a job to work on, don't waste your energy. Then there's these types of people that wonder. There's men on, like, something, what I've realized, something that came to me very early in the morning, not last night, the night before, was about politics. And how politics is just to keep you from feeling your own truth, is to have you debate not what's going on in the political world, in the government of your own life. Who is the Donald Trump in your reality? Who is the man in charge in your reality? And who are the ones that his constituents that work for him and do his bidding? And who are the ones that are against him? Who are those people in your life? Because you have a Donald Trump in your life, and you have a J.D. Vance in your life, and you have a Bibi Netanyahu in your life. You have these characters in your actual life, and they know that's what they're projecting when you have these channels that are projecting and trying to put you to choose a side and debating this versus that, and these political views are wrong because, and the race card about Jewish and blacks and Hispanics, like always all these things that they're just throwing in your face so that you can process. This isn't so that this isn't for you to fit. This isn't for you to just listen to them. It's the agenda is for you to process it and for you to fix it in your world. So you process it and you fix it in your world. You look at those debates and then you wonder, like, don't we have these dynamics in our family? Don't we have family members, cousins, uncles, aunts, and, dynamics and that play into these situations? Of course, we can see that these dynamics, these political dynamics, are happening in the home. So when you decide, I don't want to play this political game, and you're the voice that speaks out and says, this is wrong. In terms of, forget politics, forget status, forget incentivizing, forget your own personal ego. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Does it serve us for a member of our family to suffer? No. Are you going to be okay if somebody's suffering and you could have helped them? No, you're not going to feel okay with that. If you can help, you help. Now, the problem is some people that are requesting help are people that abuse their position, are people that expect you to help, are people that demand that you help, are people that expect you to fix their problem. And the reason they expect you to fix their problems is because they haven't done the inner work to work on themselves. The only people that need assistance and guidance are children. And the only guidance you give a child is the open road and freedom to walk their own path. You don't inject yourself into their life and say, choose this. You don't inject yourself and say, that over there, don't do that because I don't like that. It's no, don't do that because this will hurt you or hurt us. It's simple. When you make it about yourself, when you tell your child, don't do this because I don't like it, because I said so, what you're saying is, there is no valid, logical reason. There is no substantial reason to put this rule over me other than to control me, other than to make me do what you want me to do because you have a bias, or because you have a fear, or because you have a undeveloped perception of this matter. So if a parent loves you, they're going to explain to you, this thing that you're doing, I would want you not to do this because it could be harmful for you and it would hurt us to see you go through that. But also, here's an alternative to that. But let's go deeper. Your choice to want that. What is it about? Because it's not about that thing. It's about what that thing is soothing in you. Whatever it's soothing in you could be fear, could be anxiety, could be a need to be loved, a need to be accepted, a need to be seen, a need to be validated. It's a need. But people don't want to talk about the things that they need, and people get defensive to discuss the things that they need, and that becomes political debates. That becomes political wars. And then also not knowing that your needs cannot come from an external source. No one can be held responsible to meet a need for you other than a child. A child should expect their needs to be met by you as a parent. A child should expect that, but not an adult. And then some will argue, well, what actually qualifies as an adult? Oh, legally 18 and older, or some will say 21 and over. Then you'll have 25-year-olds, or, living at home, 30-year-olds still living at home. That's still a child. They don't want to admit it, but what is a child? A child is a being that isn't yet independent on their own, isn't making the decisions in their own life, isn't supporting their own life. So debates about politics, the problem that I have with online is how they try to push narratives on you, either to get you to adhere to. For example, I posted something about religion, about the beginnings of the United States, religious beginnings. And you'll see that, well, what I've noticed online is a lot of Jesus this and Jesus that. Like, I don't have anything against Jesus, but I don't like it being thrown in my face 24/7. Like, I have to do that. I don't know why. Like you can't be that dumb to think that your idol has to be my idol. And the same idol you tell me to idolize has said, worship no idol. How do you even justify pushing that? How do you say you're wrong if you're not Christian? Just on automatic. I'll tell you this, I had back in right before COVID, I started speaking out on narcissism, and I got a lot of attacks about that. And I got flooded with a lot of, I gained, whether it was purposely done or whether it was paid for. I don't know what the reasoning behind it would have been, but I can tell you that people in my personal life that I had already put a boundary and said, you're no longer able to exist in my personal life. Before that cutoff, I remember there was a push to becoming Christian. Basically, you're wrong for pagan views. I'm sorry, me believing that nature has to do with me is wrong. Appreciating nature, goddess energy, appreciating Mother Earth, appreciating that I exist in a environment that's natural. That is considered evil. And the ignorance behind that push and the hate behind the message shows me exactly why those individuals are ignorant and completely backwards in their belief. And I don't care to say that in a public space like YouTube, because that's what this is for. That's what YouTube is for you to have your own voice and not allow people to determine who you're supposed to be, because their views of who you are dictates that they think they can tell you how to be, because you are somehow wrong in their view. But who's in charge to tell me who? Like, if I live in the United States and it was founded on these beliefs that I feel I share with the pagan views, meaning I posted the video so you can watch it yourself. I'm not gonna explain it all, but I can align with those views very much. It's like I have my own personal way of having a moral compass. And in that moral compass, it states that you treat everybody with respect and you don't tolerate disrespect, meaning you can put a stop to it. Oh, this is how you choose to engage. This is how you choose to do business. This is how you choose to treat me because you, for personal reasons, then I refuse to engage with you. And that's it. I'm not calling war on you. I'm not debating with you. I don't need to have a discussion with you about why my views are better than yours. I'm not justifying myself. I'm not validating myself by doing that with you. And that's the problem. Narcissistic people need the drama. Narcissistic people need the debate to make you wrong. But when you don't care if they consider you wrong, when you know that you're living your truth, that you're aligned with your truth, and you know that you live by a moral compass, call it whatever you want, by an intuition, you know what needs to be protected, and you do your part. You know what needs to be sacred, and you do your part. You know what is valuable and what is good, and that is to be protected. That's it. Everything else is a person's personal view, is a person's personal belief, it's a policy, it's everything else is bull. Everything else is just, you can negotiate, talk out, discuss, debate, but not when it comes to you thinking you can have authority over me. No one has authority over me. No one. Not my government, not my family, not my partner, not my friends, not my company, nobody. I participate until the participation doesn't do what it was doing, doesn't stand the test of time. In other words, oh, okay, we're friends until you're not acting like a friend anymore, until you're not behaving like a friend anymore. We're married until you break those vows. We're a family until you're no longer behaving like family. I work for this company, with this company, until what this company is asking me to do goes against me. I don't think it's that complicated. I don't think it's that challenging. Yet the internet is flooded with people in positions that you would think are intelligent, and they're spending their time trying to convince you of their point of view, as if it's as if it's not what it is, as if it's not just them having an agenda over you and trying to get you to do their bidding for them. In other words, your energy goes towards what they want. They created that. If you didn't create that idea, then don't live by an idea somebody else created. Like, for example, hey, come go to college and do this job and make money, because otherwise you can't make money. So if that's your belief, that the only way you can make money is to have that job, then you'll find that if you go against that, that you would go against yourself and not have money if you believe in that. But that's what bothers them, is that you know that that's the angle that they take. So for me to have money, I don't need to engage with you. For me to have money, I don't need to participate with you. For me to have health and wealth, I don't need to participate with you. I internally have health and wealth. I internally have those things, and therefore I see a manifestation of that in my real life. So if that's how I live, from within to without, not from without into me and then destroy me and dysfunctionalize me and have me off balance because you're some kind of demonic ass trickster, it doesn't have effect. Once Jesus could see through the devil or Satan, the game was up. The whole I'm sacrificing myself for the world thing is really putting yourself out there. And if we see that as an example, what is the example that we're seeing? That no matter how good you are, the same people you're trying to help are going to destroy you and want you gone. And only very few people are going to feel bad about that. And only few people are going to defend and try to fight and try to protect that. Try to protect you from that. Very few that feel that they can go against a great power. But the reason that great power exists is because that is how it is. When you want to save the world from what exactly? From themselves? You can't save people from themselves. The thing is, those same people that you think you're saving from themselves, in other words, if they're willing to destroy themselves, what makes you think they're not going to destroy you? What makes you think they're not going to try to destroy you? They don't have the capacity not to destroy themselves, not to do things that go against themselves. And by that I mean staying in bad relationships, staying in situations that they hate, that they're miserable in. If staying miserable, staying sick, staying mad, staying bitter, staying sad, all those things, staying depressed, staying dependent, if you think that's healthy living in any way, I'm not going to stop you. You can live that way if that's your choice. What I will not do is let you attach yourself to me and drain my ears with your pity story. Is feed me your illness, feed me your trauma, feed me your problem, feed me. And I'm not saying we're not all guilty of doing that. At some point we all vent to someone, we all talk to someone, but venting to someone about something you're actively working through, you're not venting the same thing. You just have someone you can actually depend on to have these conversations, because it doesn't drain them, because either it's not a codependency either. It's something that I have the space. It's called holding space for someone. I'm not going to hold space for you if I can't. If you're coming to me and I'm unable to respond to you the way you need me, if what you need from me is a really good listening ear, if what you need from me is to really understand that you just need to let it out, you're dealing with something and you're working through something and you just want to say it because it's overwhelming, I can sit with that with you. I can let you know I see you, I witness you, I'm there with you. I don't need to have a solution for you. You know what you have to do. I'm just here to remind you that you got this. That's a stance of connection that I think is healthy, that I believe is, and the kinds of friendships that don't hold you to a rule of, why didn't you call me last week? Oh, now you're calling me after a month? Well. Come on, folks. We're adults and we're not dependent on one another. We should be happy that everybody's living their independent lives, that everybody is happily doing what they love, that everybody is thriving, and that whenever we come together, we can enjoy each other's company. That should be the norm. That would be the appropriate norm. That would be the healthy norm. Everybody's independently living their lives. Everybody's happily. And by independent, I don't mean you alone. Independently can mean you and your family, you and your kids, you and your spouse, you and your company, you and your culture, you and your hobbies, and the people that share those hobbies with you. It's like where you are doing the life and experiencing the things that you want to experience without some person saying, because of the title that they have over you, can tell you, you shouldn't do that, you can't do that. And if somebody's telling you you shouldn't do that, well then give a rational, practical reason why I shouldn't do something you're telling me I shouldn't do. Is it going to hurt you and harm you? No. Oh, it's going to get me in trouble? Why? Oh, because this, okay, well, thanks for letting me know. All right, you did your part. You let me know. Now, if I do that and I get in trouble, I can come to you and be like, you were right. I did those things you told me not to do, even though you told me the reasons why I shouldn't do them, they were valid, and I chose to ignore them. So then I also chose a consequence, and I should be okay with that. But there are people that you tell them, hey, don't go down that street because there's a lot of bad element, is what they'll say. There's a bad element over there. Bad news people. In other words, unconscious people. People that don't value their lives, therefore will not value yours. So if you walk through there, you're subjecting yourself to danger. If you still choose to walk through there and you get hurt, what am I supposed to do? Tie you up in a chair, force you not to go there? Can't do that. What am I going to do? Never talk to you again because you choose to go there? Not necessary. But sometimes we end up getting people out of our lives, or we tell people, you cannot participate in my life anymore. Why can't you participate in my life anymore? Because loving you is painful. To love you is painful because you make bad choices. And when you make bad choices, those bad choices are sad. Your pain hurts me to see you do things that are hurtful. So when you stay in a bad relationship, in an abusive relationship, or when you get attached to negative things, bad habits, that you can see that the person is deteriorating in their in who they were. You see someone that's always happy and coming to work, the life of the party, and suddenly they're always depressed, they're disheveled, they're not eating right, they look unwell. If I see you that way and I call you out and I say, what's wrong? What's the matter? And you're like, I hate my life. Let's get to the bottom of what's really the problem here. Let's see that there's a better way. And then once you got that better way, you have an option. You either can do that or you don't. What I won't do is hold your hand through it and do it and stay stuck to you after knowing a better way and still choosing to do a bad way, because now it's you're living off of me. You're living off of my energy. You're depending on me just to be. And that's not healthy for me. And that's not, I'm not doing anything for you by letting you stay attached to that. Your fears are not for me to solve. And I resent that the internet, or when I started doing my channel, that I can see that someone was brought to dismantle my emotional well-being. I know that that's what they did, and that they did that with the purpose of watching me repair my emotional balance. Either A, let's watch her crash and burn and then get some great entertainment from that, or let's see how she pulls through this. If she's such a baddie, if she knows better, and she doesn't want to listen to me, and she doesn't want to listen to them, and she doesn't want to listen to any of the men around her, then let's watch, let's see what she can do. And then you do it, and you're living way better, way happier, way more at liberty to be more of who you are. Let the narcissist watch you be happy and see how quickly they try to attack, defame you, gaslight you. Those monkey folks that they bring around you, like their stupid friends to call and harass, stupid friends to be on the phone giggling like little bitches, like little chicks. Ooh, ooh. What the fuck is wrong with grown men acting like fucking 10-year-old girls? You're despicable. You're disturbed. Truly. I can call out two people, two men that were too grown to be in that fucking energy. Actually, there's more than that. But the ones that really stand out, that are like, you know what I mean? When you really see the dichotomy, your inner child really, a number was really put over that child of yours, that inner child of yours. That's disturbing. But you let them know, hey, look, this isn't serving you. This isn't a good look for you. You think that makes them have gratitude for you? You think that makes them feel better? You think that makes them say, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't be doing that. I look dumb when I do that. I'll improve. You're right. No, they can't. They don't know how. They refuse to acknowledge that they need consistent therapy. But instead of going to get therapy, they want you to be that shoulder to cry on. They want you to be that friend. And that's why they have you online sharing your experience, sharing what you know, sharing the psychological mastery that you've had to endure in order to survive a world of childish adults. Because that's what it is. Childish adults. Grown adults that have yet to heal their inner child. Grown adults that have yet to master their minds. Grown adults that have yet to master their emotions. And the same ones that are out there being the supposed, Tucker Carlson is being presented as, the nice guy, the nice normal American guy wow, what a great example of a husband, a father, great example of what I'm supposed to look at and say, any woman would be grateful to have a good husband, that can see the truth, that can acknowledge when he's wrong, that can call out things when they happen. But then you see them acting foolish. You see them creating a narrative. You see them embracing the same tactics in different ways, and it's like, oh, so that's what that was for. It's just acting. It's just pretense. It's just making money. It's just business. It's just corporate. It's just the way the government is. It's just the American way. So, what do you do with that? You continue to live by your values. What they want you to also reject money because you are spiritual. They want you to reject financial independence. They want to make you believe it's so challenging and so hard. It's not challenging and hard, but the blockages that they create. We have technology, okay? We use our phones now. You can't go anywhere without being tracked. You can't have a conversation. You can't look up information without being tracked. So is it far-fetched to believe that when you put yourself out there in ways that we're used to, outside of face-to-face, customer service. In other words, hey, nice to meet you. My name is, and this is what I do, and would you like, no. Outside of that, the only other way to market your business is online, or to align with a contract. Hey, I'm interested in providing services for your business. You can go ahead and promote yourself. But who's to say that there isn't someone blocking those messages? Who's to say that those emails aren't getting redirected? Who's to say that the messages you're getting in return are coming from that source when your phones can get hacked and infiltrated and monitored? So you never really know if you're talking to a live person. You never really know if you're talking to the actual person. You never really know if your information is getting to the person. So when your ways of communicating online through technology has been infiltrated, it's hard to trust. So now you have to negotiate person to person, face to face, in real time. But that's the world I came from before technology. It's walk into that corporation, go to that front desk and ask for an application and ask if you're hiring, and go look at their board or go look at the website that they show you and do that work. And most people can't do a simple face-to-face confrontation. Oh, I have to talk to them. Oh, I don't know what to say. Oh, I have to. Oh, that looks like a lot of work. I gotta look online. Oh, guess it's not for me. So that's the kind of mentality that I've noticed. You can act like you're a hustler because you sell, some grams of weed here and there. That's not sustainable, sweetheart. That's not going to keep you going. You can sell on eBay $5 items. That's not going to sustain you long term. Now, if you're doing that along with that and along with that, and you got other things, then hey, very likely, do what you got to do. Who's going to stop you? As long as you're not hurting yourself or others, you should be fine. So as a woman, you find yourself kind of like in a position of, if I can take care of myself, if I can provide for myself. There was this argument over, I think this was at the OHGI network, right? Was it? Yeah. They were making a debate like, why would you give up a powerful man, a strong black man? Why would you give up having a strong black man for food stamps? Do you think that's like, no one in their right mind is doing that. No one is actively saying, "Ooh, I choose the government to support me." Nobody's actively saying, "I choose the government." I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are people out there that do that, but that that would be the last thing that you would want to do, is to get dependency, is to become dependent on anyone, any system, for no reason. Like, oh sure, money for free, and that, no, nobody's doing that because they want to. They do that out of a necessity. It's a necessity. And the reason it's a necessity, you'll say, why choose that over a strong black man or whatever? That's how they said it. But in my case, it's, why would you do that over having your, being married? Well, the responsibility of marriage requires maturity. The responsibility of marriage requires adulting. And some people aren't ready for that. So I'm not going to stay married to a child just to prove a point that I can be married. I don't want to be married to a child. So if that child assumes, now this is what happens. Some men actually think that once they got you in the bag, meaning like once you've committed, once you've decided, okay, you're the one, once you've had a child with them, once you live with them, once you are with them, that they have like a hook on you, like, yeah, you got my baby girl, you mine forever. No. That might have worked in old days, but I think that's what pisses off a lot of men that need to upgrade their ways of doing things, because they actually, that's what pisses them off. Okay, it's not about that the woman's independent, is that the woman is willing to work with you to build something better. Hey baby, anything you can do, I can do with you. Let's do this together. Let's grow together. If it's not that it's obligated, it's not that the man needs it, but let's say that the man got this and he's busting his ass and taking care of the family, and you want to contribute to that and say, I can contribute by doing this and that. That should be a blessing. That should be, as long as everything is running better and smoother. The minute things start falling apart, that things are getting neglected, that's a problem. Simple conversations, simple solutions, simple dynamics, but are somehow and what was it that they said? The OHGI network. I think I'm saying it right. Is it OGHI or OHGI? Either way. Okay, OHGI. They were like, it's simple, but we make it complicated. Yeah, it's simple. But when you say we make it complicated, who's the we that's making it complicated? Who's the we? What we? Because I'm not making shit complicated. And I've dealt with a lot of men, okay, that make things complicated. I'm referring to people that I've counseled, people that I've dated, people that I've been in relationship with, people that I'm in work dynamics with. I'm not blaming things on men, but let's not act like men should be in charge in some way of protecting the family. Men should have the value of family. And if that's not their priority, if that's not what they're about, then they're not, they should not be given a free pass and access to the benefit of you. Like, you shouldn't be, as a woman, oh, he's my boyfriend and we're dating and we've been dating for several years and this is my boo. But you dating several years and this is your boo, but you're already giving him all the benefits of a wife. You're contributing to the relationship in some way, shape, or form, whether it's just by sustaining yourself, less for him. Whenever you go out, you don't mind sharing the expenses. And it's not because You don't think you're a princess. I hate men that think that a girl that has her independence and likes to do that somehow, oh, she's not feminine. Get the fuck out of here. Like, if you don't like a woman to pay, then you make it clear. No, not here, honey. That's not what I do. And if you allow it, there's nothing wrong with allowing it. If she's okay with doing it, we're a team. But when it becomes an obligation, now that's frowned upon. There's nothing wrong with you allowing your partner to pay for things also. What's wrong with it is when you abuse that. And that could be for either one. I don't think it's fair. Like, I have sons and I have a daughter. I don't want my sons being abused by materialistic women. I don't want my sons to bust their ass and be treated like shit because the girl wants, you didn't buy me this diamond, like, or this bag, whatever the fuck. And that they feel like now they gotta step up their game and do something, otherwise they're worthless. No, I don't. I raise boys to be men that take good care of themselves, that have good quality vision for themselves, and that want to share that with someone that values them, someone that respects them. At least that's what I have a vision for my boys. And for my daughter, the expectation is similar. For her to decide who she wants to be, how she wants to be. And that the man that she chooses for herself is based on, can he meet her needs? Can he take care of her the way she wants to be taken care of? And is the way that she wants to be taken care of adequate for herself? And is it compassionate towards him? Is it compassionate towards him? Does it give him the power to sustain that? Does your love sustain his ambition to provide and protect? Does it? So, I don't know. Those are the conversations that have been kind of showing up. The other one is, in family dynamics, when we're talking about political, people take politics to the extent of now it's easy to turn your back on someone based on a political view, as if you don't know someone. Like, you've known someone your whole life and you're willing to just like use a political stance, as if that political stance actually matters in your dynamics. So it's like, for example, someone has a political view of, I don't know, whatever the politic debates can be. Someone's Democrat and someone's Republican. You have a Democratic stance on something. You cannot agree to disagree, like family first, and be like, well, you know, that's your opinion, and this is my opinion, but should it be, let's fight over this and become kind of like bitter towards one another? You might as well just say, this is why politics and religion aren't discussed, are taboo to discuss, because they bring about a lot of heated debates, a lot of heated confrontation towards, especially people that haven't really done the inner child work, because then those wounds come up in the arguments. It's not about, I don't believe in your political view, is I don't believe in your political view because you did this to me when, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, wait, or because if you did, people are stupid. And when you bring up your boundaries, if someone brings up an old wound, like, is this because of that? Despite you making it clear, like, it's a clear boundary, like, it doesn't need a reason. Me saying no to you does not require a reason. So why would you throw in my face, is this because of, are you still about, hurt about that? Are you still mad about this or mad about that? oh, you're being selfish because you're still hung up on. And it's like, I don't need, this has nothing to do with being hung up on anything, holding on to anything in the past, but people will throw that on you as a guilt trip when you actively choose to not deal with them. It's, you do have a choice. You don't have to deal with your baby daddy. You don't have to deal with your parents. You don't have to deal with your siblings. You don't have to deal with your adult children if you don't want to. And if you have a reason not to, and you made it clear, then you made it clear. And if you didn't make it clear, make it clear. And if they don't like it, that's their problem. But at the end of the day, are you obligated to engage with anyone? Isn't that your freedom? You don't have to. And do you want somebody to hang out with you or to talk to you or to be with you or to entertain you, whatever the case is, out of an obligation? Or do you actually want them to do that because they want to? No, Dad, I call you because I want to call you, not because I have to. No, Mom, I spend time with you because I want to spend time with you, not because I have to. No, kids, I'm asking you to visit because I want to spend time with you, not because you have to. And would I get angry if they don't want to? If they never make the time for me, am I supposed to be angry at them? I'm supposed to realize if they never make the time for me, then it's possible that they don't want to engage with me. And that's their freedom. Oh, okay, so you must not like me, or you must not like my way, or you must not be interested in spending time with me. That's fine, but keep that energy, okay? Don't come around me now when I got something that you like. When you've shown me that as I am, you don't like. As I am, you have no interest. As I am, you're disconnected. You haven't given a reason, you just are that way. And it's like, okay, that's fine. We can accept that. And that's the part I think that bothers people, because most people play around with, let me not talk to you. Let me ignore you. Let me make you feel like shit. Let me make you feel unwanted, just to get you to beg, to cry, to feel bad, so you can submit to me. That's really what they do. Because if they're not hanging out with you based on something that they already told you, and I'm speaking from how I handle it, I don't just stop in dealing with you. I don't just stop dealing with the company, the friendships, the families. I don't just stop. It's, we're not in agreement here. I don't like how you did that. I don't appreciate what you did. And you explain that, but if it gets bypassed, ignored, treated like irrelevant, acted on like it didn't even happen, continues to happen as if you didn't speak out, and then you decide to just, okay, clearly what my needs aren't being heard or respected or valued, so I'm just going to discontinue this connection. Then they want to play the game of, now they're ignoring you. They don't want to talk to you. Okay, but did you even mention it? Did you come to me and say, hey, you don't come by anymore? Why? Hey, you don't talk to me anymore. Why? Hey, you don't hang out the same way anymore. Why? They don't do that. You know why? Because if they ask you, you would remind them, don't you remember I told you not to do that? Don't you remember I said I don't like that? I don't want to participate with that. Don't you remember I said no to you and you kept insisting even though I said no, and you keep doing it as if I didn't explain myself? At some point you realize, like, no, if you can't respect my boundaries, if you can't value my needs, then we don't have any connection to interact on. That creates a lot of hostility from people that have not yet dealt with themselves. But that's not your problem, is it? You just continue to do you, continue to be, continue to explore yourself, continue to discover parts of you through others, through experiences. Continue to find the things that you enjoy. Never let that inner child, the pleasure of your inner child, the pleasure to have fun, the pleasure to be in wonder, the pleasure to be in awe of life should always be a priority to you. And the freedom to just be, the freedom to just be, to not perform for anyone, the freedom to just, I'm here. If you want to hang out with me because you like me, then just hang out with me. Don't come over because you expect me to sit there and be like, okay, Those are the things that people do, that they make an enemy out of you for no reason. Oh, I'm sorry. I get it. Either we engage in conversation because we're both engaged in conversation, or I realize real quick that we're not both engaged in conversation. Either we're both enjoying this activity, or we're both not enjoying this activity. Either we're both wanting this lifestyle, or we're both not wanting this lifestyle. Relationships shouldn't be that complicated, but people make it a lot more complicated because of all the politics that go beyond it. And politics is just an excuse not to deal with yourself. So that's my message. I'll come back soon. Take care.